Hello, I'm Coach Cory, financial coach with Financial Journeys. Today, I would like to explore talking about money. Why is it so hard? There are certain topics that we are taught from childhood that are just not a good idea to talk about. You avoid politics at Thanksgiving, you don't talk about sex around your kids or your parents, and religion can be difficult with anyone not from your church. But money, you don't talk about money with anyone. Recently, a friend posted a little about his financial strategy on Facebook. He was immediately chastised as if he was bragging and being arrogant when he was just trying to share information. Now, when I was growing up, I always had some involvement in the finances at home. When my parents were struggling and couldn't pay the bills, my brother and I would get to play a game. We would throw the bills up in the air, and all those that landed face up got paid. We would repeat until all the money was gone. And then the rest would wait until next payday. Maybe not the best budgeting tool, but it helped me learn that money did not come from a bottomless well. Then, for a time, at age 13, it was just my mom and I. She was a waitress, and I had learned how well we did on a monthly basis depended on how well she did on tips. It became our routine to talk about her day and how much she was able to bring home. This helped us when we were grocery shopping. My mom was working 3 jobs and did not focus much beyond getting food into the cart while grocery shopping. I was the one always putting back the name brand items and pulling the generics. I knew we were on a tight budget, and I didn't mind getting the no-name products. I never needed the Oreos or Honey Nut Cheerios. I was fine with no-name sandwich cookies and toasted oats. Then one day, we were visiting family, and my aunt had been talking about how well she was doing selling Avon. Is Avon still a thing? I don't know. Perfumes and bath products, stuff like that. And I asked her how much money she made. I never heard a room go silent that fast. This was just an everyday conversation for my mom and I, but here I was told that it was rude and inappropriate. I had never been called out like that in front of others before. I was embarrassed and confused. After that day, I don't think I ever asked my mom about our finances again. I believe that part of what creates this stigma around money is a lack of education on money. So today I'm going to share with you a bit about financial literacy in America, the troubles it can cause, and how to solve this problem. Without an understanding of basic financial concepts, people are not well equipped to make decisions related to financial management. People who are financially literate have the ability to make informed financial choices regarding savings, investing, borrowing, and more. A 2020 survey showed that here in America, personal finance is not a priority in education. Of the 45 states that include personal finance in their kindergarten through 12 programs, 26 states do not require personal finance to be offered in high school. 29 states do not require the course be taken, and 45 states do not require any form of standardized testing. Most states that do include personal finance include it as a piece of a course that includes several subjects. Only 5 require a full semester of standalone personal finance. America ranked 14th in a global financial literacy survey, which measured the proportion of adults that are financially literate. After the Great Recession of 2008, there has been a steep decline in the number of people who could correctly answer questions about topics such as interest rates, inflation, financial risk, mortgage rates, and investment tools. In just 10 years, the number of people that could respond accurately decreased from 42% to 34%. While knowledge was on the decline, the perception that Americans were knowledgeable increased. 71% of study participants believed that they were well educated on their finances, up from 67% over the same 10-year period. The truth of it is, they didn't know what they didn't know. So, what's the big deal? The big deal is that the use of debt has gone crazy. Household debt has risen to $14.3 trillion in America. That's trillion. That's almost 10 times the amount of physical cash in circulation. Credit card spending has gone down in 2020, but that is not because of some new trend to avoid debt. It is because most of the country is trying to avoid COVID, and we aren't out doing much right now. But while credit card debt has gone down, Student loan debt has increased by $27 billion. Auto debt has increased by $15 billion, and mortgages have increased by $156 billion. Being so deep in debt creates a situation that the problem feeds itself, and it continues to grow. A study released in 2018 showed that only 61% of Americans could afford a $400 emergency. 27% said they would need to borrow or sell something, and 12% would not be able to cover it at all. Common expenses that can easily add up to $400 or more: heating or AC repair, a trip to the emergency room, home plumbing or electrical repair, even something as simple as your kid breaking a neighbor's window. For those unable to cover the emergency, they turn to credit cards or personal loans, making the debt problem grow. With much of their income going to debt, they are now unable to save for retirement. Nearly 2/3 of those in their 40s have less than $100,000 in retirement savings, and 28% of those in their 60s have less than $50,000. With all this debt and very little retirements and savings, is it still too late? Of course not. There are ways to solve these problems, but it is going to take some work. The first step to solving your financial problems, and you're doing it right now, is to start learning. Fill in those education gaps. First, read books. Get a library card or an Audible subscription. There are so many books out there on financial topics that it will blow your mind. 3 of my favorites are Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey, Get Money by Kristen Wong, and Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins. Now, I'm not affiliated in any way with these books or their authors. I just think these are 3 of the best that I have read. Second, you can listen to podcasts. Now, I'm not big on podcasts. I tend to listen to audiobooks more. But some of the highest rated financial podcasts are Inspire Money by Andy Wang, The Chris Hogan Show. I prefer Chris to Dave Ramsey. He doesn't call people stupid the way Dave does. Personal preference, but both are great for information. And So Money with Farnoosh Torabi. These podcasts will help you expand your financial knowledge. Then third is YouTube. There are so many informational and instructional videos here on YouTube. Besides my channel, you can find countless YouTubers that will share their experience and knowledge on finances. And then third, Google it. There are so many blogs and articles published out there on the internet. Google is the gateway. Think of a question, ask Google, and let the knowledge flow to you. Then, after gaining that knowledge, you have to take action. You can learn everything there is to know about finances, but if you don't put it into action, you will never gain any traction. Don't wait for some milestone or some future date. Start right now. One of my favorite quotes is from Robert Collier. It says, "Success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out." He believed that small efforts that become part of your habits would be more effective than one large effort, because it is the small changes that you commit to every day that lead to your goals. These changes in behavior lead to lasting change rather than short-term gains that eventually lead down the old paths to bad habits. So begin now with the smallest actions. Pay an extra $1 on your credit cards, round up your grocery transactions and put that in savings, read 1 page a day on financial topics, or watch 1 YouTube video a day to learn. Then share your knowledge. Break down the taboos and talk about your finances and what you are learning and doing. Share the knowledge with those around you in hopes to inspire them, to educate them, and to ultimately improve their lives the way you are working to improve yours. The lack of financial education in America is a systemic problem, leading to numerous financial pitfalls. The way to solve these problems is to learn and spread that knowledge. You can start with my suggestions from this video. In the notes below, you will find all the books that I mentioned as well as the podcasts. I am not affiliated with any of these products in any way. I just wanted to share the knowledge. Then the next step is to share that knowledge with your friends, your family, with anyone that will listen. So thank you for listening today.